On April 11th, 1998, the day before Easter Sunday, a 20-year-old Clemson University student named Jason Andrew Knapp was sitting inside his apartment at University Terrace, watching a movie with his roommates. Nothing about that night felt unusual. Jason was a sophomore, quiet, disciplined, recently involved with the Pershing Rifles ROTC unit, and known by friends and family as responsible and dependable. At around 10:30 p.m., his roommates saw him for the last confirmed time. He was wearing a simple outfit, a t-shirt, blue jeans, and blue sneakers. No one noticed him packing anything. No arguments, no emotional behavior. No hint that this would be the last night anyone would ever see him. Jason didn't tell anyone where he was going, and no one thought to ask, because there was no reason to worry. But after that night, Jason Knapp would vanish completely, leaving behind a mystery that has remained unanswered for decades. Days passed after April 11th, and Jason didn't return to his apartment. At first, his roommates weren't immediately alarmed. College students often disappear for a few days, visiting friends or going home without much notice. But as nearly a week went by with no calls, no sightings, and no contact, concern began to grow. On April 17th, his roommates finally called Jason's mother, and she immediately contacted the local sheriff's department to report him missing. When authorities began investigating, they retraced Jason's last known movements, interviewing roommates, friends, and anyone who might have seen him after that night. For several days, there were no solid leads, no witnesses, and no clear direction. Then on April 21st, the case took a chilling turn. Jason's white 1990 Chevrolet Beretta was found abandoned in a rugged area of Table Rock State Park in Pickens, South Carolina, about 30 miles from Clemson's campus. The location was remote, surrounded by rough terrain, steep paths, and dense forest. Even more disturbing was the fact that the park superintendent confirmed the vehicle had been sitting there for 9 days. On the 9th day, park staff had grown suspicious and contacted police themselves. Inside the car, investigators found items that only deepened the mystery. There was a receipt from Wendy's dated April 12, 1998, at 1:30 p.m., along with the food itself, a 6-pack of root beer, and a bottle of orange juice, all untouched. It appeared Jason had purchased food, but never eaten it. Police also learned that Jason had withdrawn $20 from his bank account on April 12th, but there had been no activity on his account since that day. Another crucial piece of evidence was discovered inside the car, a park ticket stub that had been purchased sometime between 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. When tested later, the fingerprints on the ticket matched Jason's. This ticket would become the only confirmed proof that Jason was actually inside Table Rock State Park that day. Investigators believe Jason likely went to the park alone, but they were never able to fully confirm whether anyone else was with him or if he met someone after arriving. What made the situation even stranger was what wasn't found. There was no camping gear, no hiking equipment, no survival supplies. Jason was not known to be an experienced hiker, and his parents stated that he was not the type to camp alone or wander into wilderness without preparation. Despite this, police launched an extensive search of the park. Over the next 2 weeks, authorities, volunteers, and rescue teams searched more than 3,000 acres of difficult terrain, logging over 3,400 hours in total. They used sniffer dogs, helicopters, and ground teams to comb trails, wooded areas, and the path to Table Rock's summit, a grueling 15-mile round trip. Yet incredibly, the dogs never picked up even the faintest scent of Jason on any trail. Not a footprint, not a piece of clothing, not a dropped item was ever found. The day Jason was believed to be in the park was a Sunday, which raised even more questions. Table Rock State Park was not empty that day, yet not a single person came forward to say they remembered seeing him. No witnesses, no sightings, nothing. Years later, In an interview conducted in October 2025, Dennis Chastien, a volunteer firefighter who participated in the original search and even led sniffer dog teams on multiple trails, made a statement that still echoes through this case. He said, "If he died on Table Rock, I think we would have found him." When investigators searched Jason's apartment, they found details that suggested he fully intended to return. His rifle and ammunition were still in his room, with none of the ammo missing. His bed had been stripped, and the linens were balled up, leading authorities to believe he planned on coming back to sleep there. His parents noticed something else that felt off. Jason usually removed the stereo from his car to prevent theft, but it was still inside the vehicle when it was found, something they described as completely out of character for him. In 1999, the FBI confirmed that the fingerprints on the parking ticket were Jason's, officially proving he had been inside the park. But beyond that, the case went cold. For nearly a decade, there were no major developments, no new evidence, and no solid theories that could explain what happened. Then in 2008, attention briefly returned to the case when serial killer Gary Hilton was arrested. Hilton was known for targeting victims in wooded areas and national parks, and he was connected to 4 murders between 2007 and 2008. Given the similarities, authorities questioned whether he could be responsible for Jason's disappearance as well. However, during interrogation, Hilton denied any involvement, and in April 2008, police officially ruled him out as a suspect. Over the years, organizations continued searching in quieter ways. Beginning in 2006, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children released age-progressed images of Jason, with the most recent update released in 2023, showing what he might look like if he were still alive. In January 2018, after 20 years with no answers, Jason's parents and authorities made the painful decision to declare him legally dead. Even then, the search did not completely stop. In 2022, another search was conducted in and around Table Rock State Park, once again yielding nothing. No remains, no belongings, no clues. Today, investigators remain unable to rule out any possibility. Was it foul play? An accident that somehow left no trace? Suicide? Or did Jason leave the park with someone else, never to be seen again? Every theory raises more questions than answers. If he wandered off and died in the wilderness, why was nothing ever found? If he was harmed by another person, how did they leave no evidence behind in a heavily searched area? And if he chose to disappear, how did he manage to do so without using his bank account, contacting family, or leaving a single confirmed trace for decades? Jason Knapp's case remains officially open, a haunting reminder of how someone can simply vanish in broad daylight, leaving behind only a parked car, an untouched meal, and a mystery that refuses to be solved. Authorities continue to ask that anyone with information, no matter how small it may seem, come forward, because somewhere, someone knows what happened to Jason Knapp, and until that truth is revealed, his disappearance will remain one of South Carolina's most chilling unsolved mysteries. And when all the facts are placed side by side, the most unsettling part of Jason Knapp's disappearance is not what we know, but what we don't. A young man with no known enemies, no signs of emotional distress, no preparation for survival, and no reason to vanish, simply drove into a state park on a normal Sunday afternoon and was never seen again. Years of searches, trained dogs, federal involvement, and renewed investigations have failed to produce even a single piece of physical evidence explaining his fate. The wilderness offered no answers, and time has only made the silence louder. Whether Jason met with foul play, suffered an untraceable accident, or encountered a moment that changed his life forever, the truth remains hidden somewhere between the trees, the trails, and the unanswered gaps in this case. Until new information comes forward, Jason Knapp's disappearance stands as a reminder that sometimes people don't just get lost in places. They get lost in mysteries, and some questions refuse to fade, no matter how many years pass. Before you sleep tonight, remember this story, because somewhere out there, unanswered questions are still waiting in the dark. If this mystery kept you awake, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and share this video so more people can hear these untold stories. Your support helps this channel grow and keeps these mysteries alive. On this channel, we don't look away from the unknown. We dig deeper, we question everything, and we never stop searching for the truth. Until the next mystery unfolds, stay curious, stay aware, and remember one thing. This channel never sleep.